Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of both Play to Find Out and Smooth Criminals. This is the new show, collection of shows, whatever it is, on my channel here at twitch.tv/Tuxtradamus, where we play role-playing games with really cool people, and we create cool narratives together. Most importantly, we don't, we have, touchstones and ideas of where we want the story to go, but we don't go in thinking, oh, this is what's going to happen or whatever. We just come in with cool ideas and we create some awesome stuff together. So first of all, our first game is going to be Blades in the Dark. And I know I said I was going to hand it over to the GM, but I realized we should also introduce who the heck we're playing with today. So I'm going to go around the thing. I know these overlays aren't the best, but we're getting other overlays worked on. There was a little miscommunication and some stuff happened, so I whipped these up at about a half hour before the show started, and hopefully they work all right. And it'll be good for today. It'll be good for today, at least. So let's get started by introducing the person right below me, Dom, aka Smooth Mage. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. So why don't you tell people who you are and what you do and what internet stuff you're a part of?
Okay, my name is Dominic Prevet. I am a pharmacy technician in Savannah, Georgia. I also do Uber driving on the side. Other projects I've done a lot of things with AP Arthur, and right now I'm doing Pony Finders on Tuesday, testing the game system for my friend David, which is the writer Pony Finder, because, you know, dreams happen. He became Arthur for his favorite TV show and D&D. He loves it, so he lived his dream and he's making money off of it. And I just play test a lot of stuff for him. The character I'm playing now is, let me make sure I get the full name, because this is really long. Alejandro Alexander Abraham Bronson III. He is a cutter. His background story is he died twice. First life was through a gang war. Second life was the Great War, which we'll never talk about because, you know, the Great War is what war is convenience for you, just like Tony Stark's. And this is his third life. He just wanted to enjoy and, you know, live life. And I decided to dress the part as a, you know, 1920s kind of character. This is my grandfather's hat. I inherited it from him. Same with the tie and shirt. Fortunately, brass knuckles are illegal in my state, but I decided to carry katana to make it more authentic. And one of his key weapons that he probably always have with him, if it's not taken away from him, is his meat hook and chain. That's his weird weapon that he uses for intimidation and grappling. Mm-hmm. Mechanically, I am the tank of the group, awesome. / Commander Shepard.
Sweet. The Commander Shepard of the group. Every group needs one.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, can I be Grunt? Oh my God, I'm like I'm like a sneaky grunt, so I'm like Tally.
Introduce yourself and who you not that bullshit.
Aww.
Yes, Mike, tell people who you are.
Hi, I'm Michael Owen, or MTO2424 / MTO All Pro, wherever the hell I am. I am the founder and lead game designer with Swift Design. I'm currently designing a game called The Circle, which is all about shamans and weird shit. And Tux and PN are both playtesting it. And they've both killed over 30 people each, totally by accident in that game. Yes. So if that gives you any inkling of what the game is about, you should check out my Discord.
I murdered 20 people or 30 people.
You murdered 46. Come on. Tux only got 20 and like some assorted dogs.
Right.
Tux is an underachiever.
Assorted dogs.
Assorted dogs.
Out for that.
Once I'm better at this, I will have like commands, and so we can just be like command MTO, and then boom, it'll just put all your stuff in the chat because technology.
Nice. But for right now, I'm currently playing a lovely young rascal named Astrid Redding. She is the Lurk. She is Taikarosi, and she's a little bit nuts. So we're going to have a good time.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Right above Michael is Pian. Why don't you tell the people who you are?
Hi, I'm Pian. I don't do things on the internet. I had to say it. I had to say it. I had to say it.
You keep saying that, but then the things keep rising.
Yeah, you do a fair amount of things on the internet.
I do a fair amount of things on the internet, I will admit. That's pretty much all where I am, like, twitch.tv/PN. I do Dating Sim Saturday with Tux every Saturday.
And I'm usually there backseating the entire time. It's a lot of
He's
fun.
not wrong. He's not wrong.
Telling us how to touch our butts.
No, you gotta pick that dialogue choice. That dialogue choice. Fuck, guys.
Back up.
Second delays suck.
I'm playing Vey Vale, whose codename is Orchid. And she was a noble who then met a bad girl and was like, let's fucking go, and like went off and got crazy. What was already crazy, but like let her crazy show.
Let her freak flag fly, so to speak.
Yeah, yes.
Such a freak. Oh wait, no, I can't sing because we'll get taken down. Anyway, awesome. We're glad.
I mean, like I told Eric this week, copyright strikes are the first step to becoming a YouTuber.
That's true. That's true. Get them in when you can. Before we introduce our awesome GM, since we've kind of all given a little bit about our characters, I will explain who I'm playing. So I'm Tux. You're here on my channel. Thank you very much for being here. And I am playing Ramik Sahim, otherwise known as Mr. Posh. He belongs to a family who were nobility, and they are now no longer nobility. And Ramik doesn't think that flies anymore, so he's going to try to take back the family name. And we're going to see how that goes.
We'll see how that goes.
We will see how it goes. Probably middle of the road. Like, we'll have some highs and some lows, and then, you know, stuff will happen.
And then it'll either end in a glorious rise to power or a catastrophic crash.
Yep.
You sound like you're giving me a weather report with that. Ups and downs, maybe it'll be okay.
It's a hero's arc.
I'm hijacking the spotlight now as I am the game master, and I think it's about time we get started on this.
Mm-hmm.
So you're here to see some Blades in the Dark, and I am excited to give it to you. And the first thing you should know, if you are familiar with Blades in the Dark, is that we are not in Duskfall, which is the normal setting for Blades in the Dark. Instead, we are in a lovely city called Eldaria, which is known as Bright Harbor, and is the northernmost city in Aruvia. And it's a very interesting city. Among other things, there are a huge rail line that comes into the city, and that sounds pretty normal. Except when you picture Dustfall, you can see like the train station is there on the outskirts of the city. That's not how it is here. Let me paint you a word picture of what Eldaria looks like. I am too quiet, one tiny bit too quiet. Well, since I am going to be the most important person talking here, I'll wait till that's fixed before I keep going.
I think it's on.
I mean, you are the most important person here, period.
Yeah, I'll turn you guys up
And that has nothing to do with the
I mean,
fact
without you, the world that we're playing in literally does not exist. So.
All right, I moved my mic closer to my face. Does that help, guys?
I think you're good.
Brilliant. So we are playing in the city of Eldaria, which is in Aruvia. And let me read you from the book a little bit about Aruvia. Golden deserts. People say some of the positions of power are openly held by demons in Aruvia. They are generally amber-skinned and dark-haired peoples. So, let me paint you a little bit of a word picture here of Bright Harbor. Bright Harbor is a very ironic name because there's a huge lighthouse in the harbor of Bright Harbor that during the cataclysm went dark and no longer lights the night. Luckily, only very few ships actually dock in Bright Harbor. Almost all of their trade and commerce now comes through the rail line. And it's a very interesting city. If you come in on the rails, it looks small, desolate, as the train line comes in along the tops of these cliffs. And as you reach the rail yard, you realize actually all of the city is below you, and it's layers coming down the cliff towards the water. The rail yard and the rail line is at the top of the cliff, with a huge bridge spanning a... Oh, I have to lean away from the mic, take a breath. Oh, I'm the worst. Okay, I need to learn how to breathe again.
You're an actor.
All right. So, as you look at the city, it's got the rail station at the top, and then we're gonna imagine we cut around and look at it from the water, and you can see all of the lights of people living in this city coming all the way down from the top of the cliff, all the way down to the water and the islands that make up the harbor. And there is a huge canyon that a river cuts through, coming up into the city. Not quite as deep as the Grand Canyon, but definitely along those kinds of majestic levels. The cliffs are tall enough and the river is wide enough that Leviathan hunter ships can make their way upstream. And despite that, there is actually still a huge part of the city that have been not only cut into the cliff faces in the sides. The cliff side is the name of the district, in the sides of the cliff, but there's also a second district that is actually suspended over that canyon, over the water, where throughout the years, people have just made bridges, connected to the bridges, started living on the bridges, and it's just gotten crazy and out of hand. So the sector of overhang is just completely on top of the river. As you come further down, I left my list of all of the names of the districts. I had a whole neat little list I could go down somewhere else. So I can't, it's on my other computer. Very smart of me. So I'm gonna have to dig through it manually. Really, the next most important sector of the city that we care about is the Phoenix district. Near the base of the cliff, where there are a conjunction between the huge, massive steam elevators that lift cargo up from the top of the where it comes in on the rail line down to where the underwater channel railroad goes across to South Point in Acheros. There was a sector of the city called the Nest, where it was very comfortable for people to live there. It was right in the center, the heart of the city. But unfortunately, there was a fire. About, what did we decide, 30 years ago?
Something like that, yeah.
Huge fire ravaged the entire sector, completely destroying it, obliterating it. Mm-hmm. And over the last few years, slowly, the fire burned itself out and people just started living in the burnt out wreckage as they had nowhere better to go. More recently, people have started to rebuild it, and that sector is now called the Phoenix District, as it rises from the ashes, more glorious and beautiful than what was burned down. And it is in that sector, at a brothel known as the Eggshell, that we find our, I hesitate to say heroes.
That's fair. That's fair.
Well, we are heroes
of this story, living in this rebuilt sector with there's still huge swaths the further you get from the main roads that are still just charred husks of buildings. And this is a very strange and weird city. The demons holding openly held public offices is not just a rumor, it's true. And there are more strange oddities that live here in Aruvia that you would never see in Akaros, just wandering the streets within the lightning barrier. And I hope to evoke that strangeness. I was gonna have better notes, but then everything went to shit. So
You paint the picture well. I'm living it.
Yeah, I'm Kels. I'm ready to see some weird shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Hook me
Yeah,
up.
no, I'm ready for this. I'm so ready.
Hook me up, girl.
As the camera pans and zooms into our beautiful, the eggshell is a large building. It's 2 stories tall, brightly painted. It has like cam lights lighting it up from different angles, so you can really see how bright it is. It's all an opalescent white. Not just white. It has an opalescent shimmer to it that is provocative to the eye. And as you go inside, that brightness and that shininess continues, even though it's now dampened by a variety of curtains and tapestries. The inside is very, very cozy. We follow further inside. You pass by the laughter of women seducing men, getting paid for it, and into the modest kitchen where the girls prepare their meals or treats for their guests, into a cold storage area, which has a spiral staircase leading down into a forgotten part of the city. Deep below the Phoenix district is a cistern that used to contain fresh water for the city. But during the fire, all of the access points were lost. This one has been refound. And here, suspended above the dark water of this vast natural cavern, are catwalks that drip and echo, but there are beds set up and a small planning table. And around that planning table, we see Vale, Mr. Posh, Tomcat, and the Red Devil. So describe yourselves physically. How, not just how do you look, but how are you standing around this table?
Mr. Posh is in the book when you make your character, there's very, very good descriptors and like things to pick from and choose and kind of put together to make your character. So top notch to an already awesome game for that. So I chose descriptors like lovely, wiry, brooding, and striking. So Mr. Posh is like leaning over the table. I think there's probably a map of what's our city's name again?
Bright Harbor.
Bright Harbor, yeah. There's like a map of Bright Harbor. Mr. Posh is like leaning over it with his hands kind of like on the map, just like looking down on it, like a little bit of hunger in his eyes. Mr. Posh is like a pretty thin frame. He's wearing like one of those like longer coats, like with the things kind of going down the back. It looks like his clothes are all like dress clothes, and they were probably nice like 30 years ago. Like the fashion of like the last generation probably is what he's wearing, and like trying to make it like he's on his best to make. He's probably gotten it cleaned and like fancied up a little bit, but it's still like just older, you know. And so it looks nice, and like it's not like weird, but it's like, oh, when was that coat made? Like, yeah, it's
You're
like
wearing
older.
Daddy's suit, is what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah. A clothing that he's gotten, like, because a lot of his stuff he's kind of just acquired from like piecing things together. So yeah, it's like one of those like longer coats with the things kind of going on the back, like a gray vest and like a button, like a probably like a black or something button-up shirt or something underneath. I think like maybe like black pants with like white, like kind of like white stripes along the sides, not like pinstripe for like the whole thing, but like just one like along each, like the outside of each leg, and then kind of like dressy like leather shoes. His face is like angular, I guess is a good way to say it. Like kind of like pointed. It's not like a sharp nose or anything like that, but it's like definitely like it's thin. It's gaunt, I think is another good word. Clean shaven. He's kind of has like he's a Ruvian, so he has like that kind of like a little bit darker skin. And then his hair is kind of like a like shaved or like close to shaved on the sides and back, and then kind of has like this long hair kind of thing going over one eye.
The old 2015 Pian haircut.
I think even like
I was about to make fun of you for being an edgelord, and then Pian said that, and it was better.
it's like not as big as like because you still had like some hair, but like I think it's almost like it's kind of all in one thing.
It's
like,
just like a tail, like a reverse
no.
tail.
It if you played the character I was like, kind of thinking about is that one mercenary from Deus Ex, the last new one. One of the mercenaries had like an undercut and like it was like shaved and but they like kind of like came down on one side is what I was imagining for the character. And then yeah, so Mr. Posh is like standing over the table, like looking down at the map, and then like looks up to the other three, and yeah, and you guys feel free to say what you are doing.
Well, Orchid Urve is kind of sitting with her, like, she's sitting against the table, so her like right, like her lower back's against the table, and she kind of has like a knee like propped up, and she's kind of shaking it, and she's just like, she's just standing there. She is short, thin, slim, and calm. She has shoulder-length, curly, pastel purple hair that's kind of like just like naturally curly. And then she always wears suspenders, a skirt, and a blouse. And they're very simple clothing. Like they're just kind of like whatever. But she's got like a nice like just like a button-up shirt with suspenders and then a black skirt. And she's just standing there, probably next to the Red Devil or Astrid.
Are you missing a very important part of your character?
I am missing a very important part of my character. On my shoulder, or shoulders, is a huge savannah cat. Just kind of like a scarf around me, like just kind of laying down and like, or like sitting up. And his name is Peppermint. And Peppermint is my savannah cat because I am a hound.
Yeah.
And I get a hunting pet.
Brilliant. Last but not least.
Well, I mean, we're missing two, so not last.
But
Oh,
Peppermint's
well,
probably
I was just
Peppermint's
gonna
probably
skip you.
licking.
Just kidding. Aw.
No, but
Listen,
Peppermint's
She
probably
mentioned you in
licking.
passing, so
Astrid.
that means we're done,
Right, that
right?
counts.
Yeah,
right?
that's fair. I'm just arm candy
Okay,
for
sorry,
being-
sorry. Please continue.
No. Dom, you go. Or I'll go.
Okay, I got the mic on. Okay,
Oh, there you go.
Got it.
because I was like clicking the things like why don't there you go. You see a gentleman like on his what's the name of his chair? You have a white jacket. It looks kind of old school jacket, but it looks kind of edgy. It has a little bit of two bucklers that hanging off to the side. He's wearing a black vest with a black shirt with a red tie. He has a white hat, kind of like this, but has like a black stream going around it.
Yeah.
Right now, he's playing around with his Swiss Army knife, which is a, well, I guess butterfly knife, which he's like, kind of like doing a little twirling back and forth thing. Right now, he's wearing green pants with two belt buckles, like double edgy looking. Bell-bound pants, kind of to a different design. Like you don't really see pants flare out like this, but this dude, he's wearing steel toe boots with the steel on the outside, kind of the ones that you use to kick somebody's face in. And you really want them to feel it, kind of thing. Yeah, those type of boots. He has like mini dreadlocks going around his head outside. Like it's clean cut, but not like too crazy dreadlocks. Shaved. He has a strong jawline because of his Nordic, like basically the Olfen people of the universe. But you could tell that he's from this area, but he's like 2 tones like lighter than the normal person here. Like they're more darker tone, but he's like in between, like pale, because he has dual heritage. And you can see that he has green eyes. But if you look real closely, they kind of slightly glow in a sense. And when you look into his eye, you can kind of see how it feel like this guy has like one of those old souls kind of feel to it. Like he's seen some shit. This isn't his first rodeo kind of thing. He demands your respect. And that's the kind of guy. And also, of course, you see on his back, he has like a chain that's kind of like hanging off to the side. Like looks like a pretty heavy chain with a meat hook at the end. But, there's no blood on it because he keeps it clean because, professional and all that.
Of course.
You're like a more attractive version of Roadhog.
Yes.
Awesome.
If Junkrat and Roadhog was combined together.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Perfect.
Can Mr. Posh be Roadhog?
I think that's
not Junkrat.
Because if you
No,
ever
he's Roadhog and Junkrat's love child.
Perfect.
And it's
So
perfect.
I don't know how that works, but
38
it's
minutes for us
perfect.
to devolve into
Don't think about
figuring
it
out
too
which
hard.
Overwatch characters we are. I think that's pretty
and
good.
also if he took off his shirt, he'd be like Crips cut but kind of slim. Like, if you saw an Olfen guy, it'll look kind of like him, but a smaller version of that Olfen guy. Kind of.
Would I be Zenyatta? Or
This is
Tracer?
I don't know. Anyway.
Figure that out later. So, please tell us about the Red Devil.
Astrid, the Red Devil Redding. I think she is leaning over the table, like leaning on her fists. She has like it's not a relaxed stance per se. It's a stance of like professional intenseness.
Let's
Something-
get down to business.
Exactly. She's putting her big girl pants on and she's ready to go to work. She's wearing a black dress with red accents. And it has an asymmetric cut in the front that exposes her boots with thigh-high stockings. She has a short red pixie cut that frames her face. And maybe the most striking feature about her is her mark of her Tycherosi heritage, a set of curled ibex horns that emerge from the top of their head and go to the sides. She has like a metal ring on one of them, just to try and fancy them up. And a red scarf hangs around her neck that she fiddles with when she is stressed or pulls up over her nose and mouth when she's on a job. And here you can see that she has burgundy lipstick that makes her very brown eyes sort of pop in a weird way that's both attractive and unsettling somehow.
Oh, he's so into it.
Yeah, and maybe there's even like a moment where her hand like slides over and takes V's.
Adorable. Yeah, and now that we've got a physical description of all of our characters, before we jump into what's on that map and what we're planning, I want to learn a little bit more about the characters, just from my notes. I know we've talked about them a little bit before we started the show, and they're all completely drawn up here. But we didn't get too much detail into your friends and enemies,
Yeah, yeah.
and a couple of questions I want to ask you on screen about your histories. So, is there anyone that would like to go first, or I will just go down my list here?
List.
All right. Well, in alphabetical order, I am afraid that brings Alejandro Alexander Alhambra Bronson III to the top of the list. So,
Oh, hey.
yeah, that's you. Tomcat. So we've discussed this a little bit, but have you ever been in jail?
I have. Is it this lifetime or?
I mean, this physical body.
Oh, this physical body has not been to jail yet.
Okay, that's what I need to know. Not to jail. And what brought you, if not necessarily into this gang in particular, what brought you into the criminal underworld? Like, what? It says your background is underworld. What did you used to do before you joined Smooth Criminals?
Yeah, pretty much. I was dealing with the aftermath of the Second Life, being at war. Pretty much after hitting that age of you can hit the dusty trail, I left the family and just traveled the world just to see different people. Because after being stuck in the barracks and dealing with the apocalyptic zombie or the demon horde coming at you, you just want to live life. So you just take that extra money that you saved from the past life and just traveled a little bit.
Gotcha.
And I was like, I haven't visited this place since my first life. Let's see what happened in the last time period.
Time period.
Yep.
All right. So, how did you get mixed up with this crew?
They look like they needed some higher help. Like you see, like when you see faces, you kind of know traits of different people. Like, this one crazy. This one really want power. This one, I like this one. He looks very planny.
Who was as a fellow player, who was the first person from the gang you met? Like, who approached you and was like, yo, you look like Muscle?
Like Muscle? Well,
Yeah.
I kind of look at all y'all. I didn't really think Muscle in the sense of the term. But I know Red Devil is definitely the more cutty up type.
No. Who came to you because you were our Muscle?
Mr. Push, of course.
Yeah,
Mr. Posh.
yeah. That's what I'm feeling. As like Mr. Posh came to Bright Harbor, and basically Mr. Posh's thing is money can solve anything, and as long as you have enough of it, it doesn't matter where it came from. And so we're going to do some not strictly legal things to get said money, and you need good people to do that. So I think Mr. Posh put the crew together. I'm thinking it was like probably Vay and Astrid came first, and then it was like we need someone when things go wrong, and then we found Tomcat.
Yep.
Our
Probably at the local sparring area with my sparring buddy, which I actually do have a friend, Marlinda.
Yeah, tell me about your friends, your good friend Mercy and your not so good friend Chael.
Okay. Mercy is a witch that I knew back in the first life. Basically, she continued her life by being a cold killer and eating the souls of her victims. Like she needs to, so many souls over a time period. Like, like if it's a, dirty soul, that might, give her a maybe a week. If it's a pure soul, that might get her half a year.
Gotcha.
All I can think of is the witches from Stardust. They have to eat the heart of the star. Anyway, already reference. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go back to my cave.
I got you. And tell me about Chill.
Chill is a from my Olfen bloodline. Pretty much think of I'm the Wolverine. He's the Sabretooth. He's more of a brutal kind of fighter. You know, want to go like full brawl, throwing fists there, breaking down not buildings, like knocking down walls. Might take a pillar, pick it up and chuck it at you kind of guy. Not more of the calculated kind of fighter. Like when he throws that pillar, I take my blade, cut it in half kind of guy. And then he throws a punch. I slide between his leg, hit him in the right kneecap to break his balance kind of person. And our rivalry is he thinks brute, I think clever fighting. We never really got along on fighting styles, but it's a mutual respect that we're both fighters.
Gotcha.
Continue down the line.
And no, just those guys are good for right now.
Okay.
What other ones may or may not come up? The two, the ones that you have a closer and further relationship with are the most important. And when we visit some of the other ones, we will talk about more what they are and what they do. Okay. And finally, do you still talk to anyone in your family?
My family in this lifetime, not really.
No, not really.
I'll probably have to send you a whisper later about another family member. One of those secrets kind of things.
I like secrets. All right.
I already made secrets for each. I made secrets for each character.
Brilliant.
Gotta love secrets.
Okay, well, next I'm gonna go. I think that's good to start here. Next, I'm going to go actually to Mr. Posh because I already wrote something down for you.
Yes, of course.
So, Ramik Shahim, Mr. Posh, have you ever been to jail?
Of course not. I've never been to jail in my life.
Of course not. Of course not. Now, you spent a lot of time at court. Where was that?
Let's see. Let me pull up my my blade stuff. Let's see. I'm thinking it was in. It was probably in Akaros.
Was it in like the capital city?
Maybe, yeah, maybe the Imperial City, I think. That's probably where the family went after they kind of got like shamed out of Bright Harbor.
Yeah, and what happened to make them shamed out of Bright Harbor?
I'm thinking some like the details are pretty like. There's a lot of hearsay going on with it, but I think it was like some sort of like big scandal of some sort. What it actually was, I'm not entirely sure, and then I'm definitely open to like suggestions. But I think it was like some sort of like scandal big enough that people like were actually not wanting to do business with them anymore, and like actually like wouldn't let them come to court anymore. Like my grandfather did something.
Is it something that Mr. Posh himself does not know, or just something that you haven't set in stone yet?
Mr. Posh probably doesn't know actually, like what the actual details were, and I'm sure what Mr. Posh thinks is it was our family's enemies just lying through their teeth to kick our family out because they were scared of us.
As a longtime resident of Bright Harbor, do I have the right to make up vicious rumors about you?
Oh, probably. Of course.
May or may not be true.
Of course. I'm sure you can say like just random crap about like well that's simply not true at all.
So you're saying your great grandmother never fucked a Leviathan?
No, of course not. That's not even physically possible, dear.
You don't know. Demons are weird.
I mean, demons are weird, but Leviathans are a whole nother. Hello, let's talk about your friends.
And derailed.
You've got a strange friend here, Salia,
Mhm.
an information broker. Tell me about Salia.
So I'm thinking Salia is one of those, like, they've been around for like a long time, and by long time I mean like probably like decades and decades, like easily like since since the city like came around and started becoming like a big thing. People have been talking about like like someone named Salia. I think it's like one of those types of people. Like you go to them and they look the same every single time you see them, kind of thing. And then whether that's what they are is, you know, up in the air. But I'm thinking that's kind of what they are. And so yeah, they've kind of just been in this city for a long time and have information, and then they just like know things about people and what's going on. And then they deal in that since they have all this information. I think I'm good friends. Like I think they, she probably knew my family back then, like, and didn't like. It's probably something like she didn't let the scandal like. She probably like. I'm thinking she's a person that like deals in like individuals, not like as a whole. And so like there was like your family may have been scandaled, but like I did have some good dealings with them, so I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, kind of thing. And so I'm on her good side for now, at least.
Gotcha. Sweet. And then your least liked friend here is August.
August, that dirty scoundrel, is the person that tore down my family's mansion after we left and built this eyesore of a hellhole for some other royal family.
Oh, I love this.
And I'm pissed off about it.
Of course you are. Brilliant. And so is your family still back in Akros, or
yeah,
are they...
yeah, they're back there. Okay. Like I think the scandal, and like we left when I was like super young, probably like maybe even like just born or something like that. And then I grew up with my actual family, like my mom and dad. And then once I kind of got of age, I went to serve kind of as like an assistant boy servant person thing to a count.
And is that count here in Bright Harbor or somewhere else?
It could be really interesting if they were here, actually. I'm thinking about now that I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
What's the count's name?
Let's see. How cheesy do I want to go with this? I'm just gonna go with the first name that came to my head was Darkholme.
All right, Count Darkholme. You got it. Page boy.
Yeah, so like basically it was kind of like a, and I think it was totally like and we talked about this a little bit, but like it was totally like oh, I'm gonna take in this young boy from this family. Like, look how good I am. I'm adopting a child that has had a poor life growing up. Like, aren't I great? Like, oh, okay. Like, how much time do you spend with them? That doesn't matter. I adopted them into my home. Isn't it grand?
Yeah.
I'm teaching them things.
Yeah.
Like, it was totally just like a play kind of thing. And like, I was very aware of that, and I like grew up still learning, but I just kind of like made my way through and got the skills that I needed, and now I'm out.
He went to the Bruce Wayne school for interacting with your adopted orphan children.
There you go.
So occasionally he brings them out in wearing a strange costume to fight crime. What?
Yeah, exactly.
No. What happened to Count Darkholme?
I'm thinking I think they're like a super low like very, very low on the totem pole of like nobles. So they're like, they go to some events and like serve in court and such like a little bit, but like they're like not that important. Like they probably have a couple trade contracts and like just they own just enough to be like kind of in the know of things, but not enough to be like a major player. And so I think they're still like he's kind of
still around.
He's around, but you know he's just doing his own thing. And so I just kind of like I'm in my 20s now. I'm leaving.
And he kind of shrugged his shoulders. Because
Right, yeah. I was like, oh, I'm so glad I've served you well, and like I hope you will take the lessons I've taught you to like redeem your family name, and just it was just I was like, okay, bye, whatever. And
perfect. All right. Next on my list is Astrid the Red Devil. Tell me, have you ever been to jail?
This week.
So is that a yes?
All right.
How many times have you been incarcerated, Astrid?
Let's see. There's the one for stealing from that John that my mom was taking care of, and then there was the other for spitting at that cop, and then there was the one for crashing the party where I met me boo, and then I don't know, lost count.
All right, constantly in and out of jail is what I wrote down. Brilliant. So tell me a little bit. Let's actually talk about how did Mr. Posh approach you to bring you into this little organization?
Well, good old Poshy boy. He ran into me and Orchid running a con. We were doing the old, oh, I lost my wedding ring. Oh, I found the wedding ring. You better pay me so you can give the pretty girl her wedding ring. And then, you know, it's just glass or whatever. It doesn't really matter. Costume jewelry. So we were doing that. And then some man grabbed my wrist. He's about to pop him a good one. And he holds up one of me handkerchiefs. And I was like, I think we need to have a conversation. And he started talking to me about rising from the bottom and doing all this crazy shit. And I was just like, sounds fun.
We're going to own this city, dear.
That's what you think, love.
Yes. All right. Lovely. Sounds like you guys are going to get along just fine. And tell me, I have here that your friendly friend, Eldrea. Tell me about Eldrea.
Eldrea? Yeah, good lass. Yeah, she's worked for my mum for a long time. Her mum was one of my mum's girls. My mum owns the eggshell. Miss Peacock is what all the fancy lads call her. I just know her as mum. She's Taikarosi like me. It's nice to have someone who at least looks like you, so you can be friends with.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's always nice. And I see here that you have a downward tick with somebody named Wicker. Tell me about Wicker.
Fuck him, that's what. You don't need to worry about Wicker.
No, I do need to worry about Wicker because he's still alive.
Well,
on your character sheet.
Well, love. Me and Wicker were intimately aware of each other. While I was working for my previous employer, and he found out some things about me background, so to speak, and got a little uppity and told the boss. And zim's up, I'm out on the streets and back in prison, and ended up crashing a party for fun, and I met V, and yeah, he's gone from my mind.
I'm sure he's forgotten all about you, and you don't need to worry about that downward tick on your character sheet at all. Everything is fine.
I think you're foreshadowing for me, love.
No.
Right. Sorry. Now, tell me, you just mentioned that Miss Peacock is your mom, and she also runs the Eggshell, that lovely establishment of a brothel that I described earlier.
Mhm.
Do you have any other family? Do you have a biological father? Do you have any other siblings, cousins, aunts, uncles?
Well,
A string of ex father-in-laws?
well, you got to
Stepfathers?
understand, my dad was a John, so I don't know the deadbeat. My mom started using rubbers after that, and
Mm-hmm.
so never had to worry about it again. Just
Gotcha.
me.
Just you and mom.
Just me and mom.
Lovely.
She's a regular Lorelai Gilmore, that one, except a hooker.
Right. Exactly. Oh, and what is her distinctive Pekarosi trait?
She's not Takarasi.
Oh, you get that from your dad.
Yeah, she's Aruvian.
Oh, so you are also half Iruvian.
Half Takarasi.
Half Tekarosi, half Iruvian. Well, good to know. Mom is full. No, good to know. Good to know. All right, that's enough there, I think. Vale, how do you do, Orchid?
I'm fairly good.
Brilliant. Tell me, have you ever been to jail?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. No,
No jail, no jail.
not that I can
Good,
remember.
good, good.
I've been to jail a lot, but never in it.
All right. And tell me, you were with the Red Devil when approached by Mr. Posh. Did you have any misgivings coming to join him in this endeavor?
No, it was mostly mutually beneficial. I was ready to get some jobs done and make some money.
Now, I see here that you are also an exiled noble, a former Ruvian noble. What happened to your
Well,
nobleness?
I was at a gala one day, and I ran into a lovely woman who just so happened to be Tairosi, and my parents weren't too fond of that, so they gave me the ultimatum to either leave the house or break up.
Hmm,
She fell for the bad girl, she did.
I see. All right. And tell me about your friend and frenemy. So I see here your friend is Melvir, a physiker. Tell me about how you know Melvir.
We've been friends since we were kids. I went to school with him. He was a really good friend of mine, and when I left, we kept in touch.
Okay, and he's willing to do he's willing to do you a good turn or two. Awesome. And how about your not so good friend, Celine?
Well, Celine was basically my bodyguard. Um, she watched out for me when I was still in town, still a noble, and was very close to my parents as like a very trusted guard. And I just disappeared one day, and she lost her job, and she was no longer trusted. So.
So she blames you for that.
Mm-hmm.
I see.
Uh-huh.
Have you seen her since then?
I don't believe so, no. Maybe in passing, but
Did she recognize you?
I think, yeah, it looked like she did.
Okay. Beautiful. And so your family disowned you after you started hanging out with the Red Devil. But where are they? Do they live here in Brightheart?
I think so. Yeah. I think we're gonna go with that. Yeah.
All right.
I've never been outside of Bright Harbor, so I'm assuming yes. Or you were just like in town for like a week.
I
and then
mean,
you met me and we're like, I'm staying. Fuck it.
Yeah,
Big
that could
gamble.
happen.
No, yeah, I think we've just I've grown up here.
All right, beautiful. We'll talk more about the more noble parts of the city another time. So we can cut back to where we paused a while ago to take a deeper look at our characters. And now I want to know, what is on that map? What is our spider planning?
I think I've got like chess pieces that I'm using as like markers for the map, and I've got a let's go with a bishop planted on like a spot. I think we're planning a heist of some kind.
That seems appropriate, as you are shadows.
We are shadows, yes. I'm going to swap us over to the roll 20 in our and cool, everything stayed awesome, yay. So I can show.
Do we get Astrid's finger just coming into frame and just toppling the bishop before we like see the like flashback setup where we got the job?
Yeah,
oh,
cool.
Man.
Yeah, let's talk about what we're actually targeting and what we're doing.
Talk to us, boss.
Who, me?
Yeah.
What do you want to do? Who are you targeting? What does that mean? What do you want to get? What is your goal here?
I think
So everyone, thank you for coming down to one of our first official group meetings. I believe
we fucking live here.
I know this.
Just so you know, you're in my home.
I know,
okay?
And I appreciate it again. I've said it multiple times now, dear. Yes, so
They just like kind of chuckles.
It's a very nice home.
Thank you.
Before we can make any bigger waves in the city, we need some capital. So, I have some ideas about us acquiring said capital from someone who doesn't want it as much as we do.
Well, if everybody wants capital, who's getting hit? And what's we got to worry about?
Kelsa, what should we talk about who we're targeting, or should we just come up with it right now?
I think at this point, Peppermint jumps down from my shoulder and gets on the table and lays down.
It's like over the top of the map.
Yep.
I guess we're cat.
Get out of the way.
So there were a number of factions that we had come up with before. So we can make it against any of those, or if you would like to tell me a new faction, since we did not fully flesh them all out, I will accept that as canon, and that is who you are targeting.
Okay, cool.
Can we start big and do a good old fashioned bank heist?
That sounds like a terrible way to start.
So of course we should do it.
Okay. If the GM says that's a terrible idea, I'm gonna listen to her.
Look, I don't know if you watched the first episode of Never Sunny in Dustfall, where two characters wound up in jail, and I almost died.
Like twice?
Like twice.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough, fair enough. So not a bank heist.
You guys are a tier 0. You guys are tier 0. Keep that in mind.
Well,
Are we stealing something from like a street vendor, like a pretty like for something from their lockbox in their stall?
I mean, we could be taking out. I actually think it would make a lot of sense if we were going after like a rival establishment in the Phoenix district.
Oh
that,
yeah.
wants us to take care of, and maybe she's paying us for the hit, and we like get to keep the money we take.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you guys can still live in my basement, honey.
However much
Mom.
coin, and then whatever we find there.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So
So,
we're
another brothel in the Phoenix district. We're gonna hit.
Yes.
I think I know there's another tavern in the Phoenix district that we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think
That's
it,
true.
I don't think there are like people that have sex there, at least for money. But there's definitely like stuff that we could take.
And the name of the brothel is the Pixie Kitten.
Pixie Kid.
Look it up, Rune Lord.
The pixie kitten. What?
That's the name of the brothel we're hitting.
Pixie kitten.
Okay. Yeah.
Of course.
There's another brothel. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Your mom doesn't have the monopoly on brothels in this district.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna hit up some brothels. Try to.
Yeah.
This is the first one. We're just starting off with easy jobs. They're somewhat protected, but not enough.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hey, Poshy, I think we're gonna get you laid for once.
I don't think that's how it works.
Come on, man.
She's
You gotta.
waving off.
I live in a brothel. I know how it fucking works.
I know. We all know how it works. We're all adults here. We've
Alright.
heard you two.
More than
Yes. A
Vay
lot.
starts laughing. Vay just like starts cracking up.
These curtains don't have sound dampening.
You know, if you wanted to spend a little bit more money making these a little bit quieter, you wouldn't have to worry.
We just got
about
it set up.
that. Okay.
I'm
the beginning.
100% for that idea, making it quieter.
Yes,
I'm
we will-
100%
we
for
can-
that idea
We
too.
can
This
invest in
fucker's
sound
warm.
dampening after we get paid for our first job.
All right. So step 1 of downtime will be sound dampening for the base. But to get to downtime, first we have to
To
do
get
a
the
job.
downtime, we need to do something.
Okay,
Right.
so we're going after you. God, what did you say the name of this brothel was? The Frisky Kitten?
The pixie kitten.
Pixie Kitten. All right. And what is your plan? How are you going in?
Are we doing it full Skyrim style? Like we're just like sneaking up the stairs like one after another?
Well, I mean, I'm the person who gets in the building. Like, that's my thing. Because I can, I have a particular set of skills.
Yeah. So
To make
then,
that very easy. So I feel like.
so do we want to say stealth for our plan?
Can I do myself in the sense that I'm going as a clientele?
I mean,
Oh yeah,
I mean,
definitely. That's
it
a
makes,
form of
it
stealth.
makes sense that more than one of you guys, probably Vay and Mr. Alphabet Soup, Alejandro,
Triple A.
Mr. A would go in first and either cause enough havoc to get the guards away from the strongbox,
Mm-hmm.
Vay's
or-
ready. Vay's
or
ready.
like actually like case the joint, which might be a little bit more useful.
Yeah.
So
So it
Well,
sounds
I
like
mean,
stealth,
if
and then
you want to, I mean, if you want to say that you've cased the joint, we can always do a flashback to how you guys became regulars there before this all went down.
Mhm.
Because that's the beauty of Blades.
It
Blades
is.
do, if you
It
say,
is.
okay, so we're going to be sneaking in, but first we need to have cased the joint. We skip to sneaking in, and then at the point where having cased the joint would have been important, we'll roll a flashback for it.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. So it sounds like we're doing a stealth entry and not a social thing. So do we just roll entanglements?
I mean, we can do a linked plan if you wanted to, but I think that just doing a real quick like help to entanglements, doing a social plan, if whoever's going to be
Well, I mean,
whoever's going to be going in as clientele before you start sneaking in. I mean, that's
Asher definitely suggests the ones that looks like a noble.
sneaky too. So I think because you're not coming in to like schmooze your way, you're pretending to be clients
Yeah.
in order to
Yeah,
get access. So yeah, I think that all rolls in very nicely.
Yeah, for stealth. Yeah, sounds like
Oh,
for stealth.
okay. I know. Okay, I know what to do. Okay.
You do.
Oh, Pian, I don't know what you. I don't like it when you make that face. That's your. I'm about to kill 30 people with a dragon spirit face.
I mean, that's fair.
I know what I'm gonna do. Okay, I'm ready. Okay.
Okay. All right, so yeah, let me roll. This is not a very the Pixie Kitten is owned by a fairly small gang, which is why they're operating out of the Phoenix district. And
Are we looking at like a tier 2 gang or a tier 1 gang?
do you want to be looking at a tier 1 gang or a tier 2 gang? You tell me, because you would have picked your target accordingly.
I feel like we're going. What's our reputation? Is it daredevils?
I
No,
think it's
it was-
ambitious.
Ambitious. We're
Ambitious.
Oh, we're totally going for 2 or 3. I would think
No.
A 3
No.
will kill you. A 2.
3 will kill us.
I think we should do rank 1 just to get our feet wet.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's an easy score. Basically, we go when their what's the name of it? Their security is kind of low, not during peak hour.
Yeah. Feeling it.
Yeah, like if we would have went at like midnight, it probably would have been like tier 2 gang.
Mm-hmm.
But we're at the beginning of the night. Not many people are out. The dust is just setting in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Your food's right up here, kitty man.
Just painting that scene, man.
All right. So this the Pixie Kitten is owned by a tier 1 crew, tier 1 gang, that are known as the Dusters. They're known for they mostly do smuggling out of the desert, and which is where they get their name from. But they do some other things on the side, such as this brothel. And so yeah, that's who you are going to go up against. Let me give them some dice. So you're going at a time you've cased the joint. When they're going to be more or less prepared, and you're going at a time that would be good. Okay. All right. I think we're looking at 2 dice.
Okay.
Oh,
That's not
Great.
good.
Great.
wow, guys.
Great.
It's real
So
bad.
we're entangled,
Real bad.
is what you're saying.
Okay. Yeah.
Do we want to take a break so you can figure out what that means and stick food in your face?
I really do. My food is here. And
All
I would
right,
love
yeah.
to eat it.
Cool. So we have talked about who we are. We've talked about what we're doing. Given a lot of information about the city and introduced, kind of got our intro to everything going. So we are going to take a short break. I'll put. How long do you want to eat, Kelsa? 5 minutes, good.
Let's go with 7, just so I've got
Sure.
a buffer.
All right. It'll be a 7-minute break just so Kelsa can eat and do her GM thing. So feel free to go to the bathroom, get a drink of water, do whatever you need to do, and join us in 7 minutes, where we will officially start our heist. See you guys then.